Well, hello there, and today we'll be covering the top 5 GeoGuessr tips for the US Virgin Islands. Tip number 1. When you have this very big vehicle, or more specifically the red truck, you can only be in the US Virgin Islands. You can also get a white version of this, but when you have a red version, you should only be on the southern one. Tip number 2. It is important to be aware of the different shape or body of the front of the Google car for the different islands. So if you've got the one we had previously, which is more of like, kind of less bumpy, then I would go the island more towards the south. But if it's more of a pumpkin shape or really chubby, I would definitely go the North Islands if it's more chubby. So keep that in mind, very useful. Tip number 3. Another thing to keep an eye on is the back of the Google cars. So on the back of the ones on the southern island, it tends to be more thin and you tend to only get really one colour. I've noticed that the white vehicle only can get these white strips. I haven't seen that on the red vehicle, but the main difference here is you've got this white and the black back. Tip number 4. Despite it being called US Virgin Islands, it's one of those very rare scenarios where you actually drive on the left-hand side. And I guess if you don't have the Go car visible, it could be a good way to separate it from the other Caribbean islands because most of those drive on the right. And tip number 5. US Virgin Islands use stop. So that is a great way to separate it from Puerto Rico. It's a good way to separate it from Dominican Republic. So keep that in mind. And yeah, we've got a bonus though. And this is the golf. I'm pretty sure this is the golf club that you get in the US Virgin Islands. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But in this kind of region of the South Island of the US Virgin Islands, you get this kind of like blur car which has the red present but it's not completely covered. It most likely means you're along this place or region called Fountain. But that is all. Hope you found this video useful. The next video I'll be covering is Bermuda, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, of course.